Hello everybody, welcome back to the Spoked Wheel YouTube channel. Today we have stage 6 of the 2020 Giro Rosa with Mitchelton-Scott. Last time out, of course, we were able to get the stage win with Amanda Spratt, which also moved her up into 14th in the general classification. We are still sitting in second with Annemiek van Vleuten, 23 seconds behind Cassia Nuyadoma. So I would say things are going pretty well in terms of our quest to win the overall GC. We still have a few stages to move up from second to first and get that done. So today, stage 6 is a pretty flat one. I would imagine it will be a sprint. Stage 7 is also pretty flat, relatively speaking, and then stages 8, 9, and 10 are all filled with climbing and will be big GC days. All three of those will be pretty important, and together we'll pretty much decide who wins this race overall. So those are going to be very exciting. So make sure you stay tuned and keep an eye out for those videos at some point down the line. But in terms of today, like we saw at the end of the last video, the magazine is predicting a sprint finish, which I think is very likely. So for the gear and stuff, we have our aero frames and wheels, which makes sense, I think. And in terms of our strategy, we're going to keep it the same, kind of the same setup that we've had. I think for our actual in-race strategy, we're just going to see whichever one of our riders has the best sprint rating on the day, thanks to race day condition, and we're just going to try and sprint with them. We don't really have a dominant sprinter necessarily in this team. Our best riders with the sprint, Van Vleuten has 72, Gracie Elvin also has 72, and then Sarah Roy, who is our designated sprinter, has 71 sprint. So none of those three are really quite on the same level as some of the best sprinters in this race, but depending on race day condition and things like that, there's always a chance that they could have an outside shot at stealing the win. So basically we're going to load up the race, take a look at who has the best sprint stats, and then form our sprint train and responsibilities based on that pretty much. Okay, so we're into the start of stage 6, and Annemiek van Vleuten is going to be our sprinter for the day. So thanks to her +3 race day conditions, she has 77 sprint and 77 acceleration on the day. Our other contenders, Gracie Elvin has 74 sprint and 72 acceleration, so she will be probably the final lead-out rider. And then Sarah Roy has just the 72 sprint and 67 acceleration, so she will probably be the second to last lead-out rider, basically. I'm hoping that we won't have to do really any pacemaking on the front, because we're not really a team with sprinters. I'm hoping the teams with the sprinters, like Lisa Brownauer, Julian Dorr, are going to ride on the front and keep the breakaway in check, basically. So I'm not anticipating doing that, but yeah, we'll just kind of try and stay out of trouble and then see if we can't set up a sprint train in the last few kilometers to try and get a decent result with Van Vleuten. We are inside of 50 kilometers to go here in stage 6, and the other teams are doing a nice job of keeping the breakaway in check. I think it's around a minute to go. Sarah Roy is sprinting for the sprint points on her own. So not a whole lot going on right now. The peloton is mostly all together with a couple riders still off the front, but they should be kept in check by the teams that are riding. I forgot to point out that Annemiek van Vleuten now leads both the sprint points category, but also the mountain category. So before, she just was leading the mountain standings, I believe. So after that 4th place yesterday, she's up into 1st in the sprint category as well. So she finally is the rightful owner of that jersey. But yeah, nothing has changed really from my perspective in terms of what we're going to do. We're just going to get into the final few kilometers and see if we can get a sprint train going. It's been a little while in this game since I've actually set up a proper sprint train, so I might be a little rusty, but we'll see if we can't set one up and get a decent result. I mean, we're still, even with the 75, 77 that we have with Van Vleuten, we're certainly not the favorites, so I'd say even like a top 5 would be better than I'd expect. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We have a couple riders that we can use who are good on the flat, so we have some decent firepower. Just a question of whether or not we'll be able to finish it off. Alright, we're inside of 20 kilometers to go, and we're sort of getting our train set up. It's already kind of all over the place here. We're leaving Amanda Spratt out because she's decent on the flat, but she's more of a pure climber, and our other riders are better suited to this role. So I think we have pretty much everyone lined up where we want them. We have Van Vleuten as the sprinter, with Elvin as the lead-out rider, and then Roy as the second-to-last rider. Kennedy and Williams also in there, with Roberts on the front currently. And I kind of think that we might have too many riders already in the train at the moment. So let's switch it over to Kennedy at the front. Stick her on 88 effort. Yeah, we're inside of 10 kilometers to go, so I think we're gonna end up switching off riders fairly shortly again. Let's use the energy gels, even though we're not really gonna need them. Alright, let's switch it over to Williams. Yeah, so like I said, I haven't made a sprint train for quite a while, so I'm out of practice. And I probably started it a bit too late on into the race to really fully use everyone, but that's okay. We got Georgia Williams on the front now. We're gonna have Roy. We're gonna use the energy gel on Elvin pretty soon, and then we'll use Van Vleuten's with 5Ks to go. I don't really remember when I'm supposed to start sprinting with these other riders, but we have Georgia Williams on 99 effort. The problem right now is that Roberts is getting in the way and protecting. So let's hand it over to Roy to open up the sprint with Elvin and then Van Vleuten on her wheel. Let's now sprint with Gracie Elvin and go with Annemiek van Vleuten. So you know what? That's actually pretty decent. Jolien D'Or did get the win. She was the obvious favorite, but we got third with Annemiek van Vleuten and fourth with Gracie Elvin. So I think we did kind of go a little too late in terms of setting up our train, but in the end it gave us some decent results. I'll have to look at like what the sprint ratings of the riders are. I know Jolien D'Or is up in the 80s, so she should have been the favorite to win the stage. So I think we punched above our weight class a little bit with that result. So I'm happy with it. I mean, I said top 5 I would be very happy with, so top 3 is even better than that. So yeah, Jolien D'Or, 82 sprint. Liz Stedman Banks 74, Van Vleuten 72, but it was 75 on the day. Gracie Elvin 72. I think it was 73 or 74 on the day. Yeah, so we beat some pretty solid sprinters. Lisa Brennauer 81, Lucinda Brand 77. Yeah, we managed to beat some pretty good sprinters with our sprint train, so I'm happy with that. I think we can count that as a success. Didn't win the stage, but did pretty well. And you know what? That third place will give us a few more bonus seconds with Van Vleuten, so we're now up to 19 seconds back of Cassia Nuyadoma, as opposed to the 23 seconds back that we were at starting the day. So that is a very successful outcome, I would say, for a sprint stage that wasn't necessarily supposed to be hugely influential in terms of the overall results. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So stage 7, like I said, another flat one. There are a couple Cat 3 climbs there at the end, which may break things up a little bit more, but the magazine thinks it's going to be a sprint again, so basically we're just going to try the same strategy that we did today, I think. Pick between one of those 3 riders, Elvin, Van Vleuten, and Roy, based on who has the best sprinting rating on the day because of race day condition, and then we'll learn from today and try and set up our sprint train a little bit earlier so we can use our riders a little bit better, but basically just try and shoot for the same result. Yeah, so that's more or less it from stage 6. Thank you everyone for watching. As always with this series, I'm going to put the links to the 2 mods that I'm using for this series in the description, so if you're interested in checking them out and trying to play some Women's World Tour races yourself, you can do so. They're very easy to set up on Steam, and if you run into any trouble, there's instructions and things like that in the Steam Workshop pages. Yeah, thanks again for watching it. I think next video will probably be another installment of Andy Schleck, but then after that we will be back with the stage 7 and stage 8 of the Giro Rosa. So if you're enjoying the series, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date when those videos come out. But thank you for watching. I will see you next time.